Now, why the heck do they call it Ableton Live anyway? Don't they know that the only thing live in EDM is when the DJ spills White Claw all over the club iPod? Well, look, I get it. You want to feel like you're actually doing something up there. That's why in today's lesson, I'll be showing you how I built my Ableton Live performance setup, which I used for me and Scroll's show in LA. Now, I know all of you who couldn't make it out that night are absolutely crushed, but just so you can also experience a bit of that magic, I'll be selling exclusive merch from the show down below, including t-shirts, CDs, and signed posters from Scro and yours truly. Anyways, let's get started. For my performance, I wanted three things. One, I wanted to go diddly on the keys. Two, boom boom on the finger drums. And three, get some good old-fashioned pressing play in there. Let's start building the set in Ableton. Alright, so for my solo set, I'm using the session view here. Let's start over on the left, where I have these two tracks called Deck A and Deck B. It's just mimicking a traditional two-deck DJ setup. On these two decks, I got full songs in these clips here, and I can trigger all the clips in my set using my APC40. So let's just trigger this clip right here by pressing this beautiful button. I got the faders setting the volumes at the bottom. And over on top, I have the DJ M filter, which I've mapped to these knobs. I can high pass it going up, low pass it going down. That's incredible. I'm Skrillex over here. Let's try mixing in the next song. Whenever I'm ready, I'm going to press play on this next clip here and bring up the fader. So let's try it. Okay. Okay, beautiful. We're going up. Alright, let's filter out of that second song. Oh my God! I'm a DJ! Okay, now pressing play is great and all, but what about, actually performing something? Well, for that, I got these song groups here. Check it out. Each group represents a full song, and within each group, I got three different tracks. One is the backing track of all the instruments that I'm not performing live. Next up, we got the stack of all the instruments I am performing on my keyboard. And third, we got a sidechain input. You can see on this track, I just have a simpler with the little click sound. It's just mimicking the kick pattern in the backing track so that the instruments I'm actually using duck in the same way as in the instrumental. I'm gonna scroll back to the left. You'll notice that by default, the stack is turned off and I got the MIDI coming from my USB keyboard. There it is, receiving. And the monitor is set to in. So what that means is that it's always receiving MIDI. I don't have to manually arm the track for that to happen. And the same is true of all these different song groups here. They're always receiving MIDI from my keyboard all the time. The reason why my computer's not exploding every time I press a key is because all these instrument racks are turned off by default. Now to turn them on, we have to press play on this instrument group. So let's do it real quick. Okay, you can see it automatically turns on. The way I'm making that work is I have this dummy clip here which contains automation for the instrument rack. Check it out. If I go to instrument rack device on, you can see turns on right at the beginning, turns off at the very end of the song. Okay, that's beautiful. Let's check out what's going on in this instrument stack. I got these different sounds that I'm using for different parts of the song. And I can select between them by moving this chain selector here. Now the chain selector I'm using is automated so that it switches to the right sound at the exact right time in the song. So at the beginning I got this cute little pluck and you can see right before measure 25 I'm switching. So let's fast forward here by dragging up on the numbers. Okay, and then we got a bit of a different sound there. And then we fast forward a little bit more. And now we got a Reese. Okay, beautiful. That way I can focus on just performing the song on the keyboard and trusting that the right sound comes in at the right time. Amazing. All right, we got diddly on the keys. We got press and play on the APC. What about going boom boom on my beat pad? All right, so for that, let's go ahead and open up this song group right here and click on my drum rack. I got all the sounds I need for my routine on these 16 pads. I've even created choke groups to cut off previous sounds to reset. But here's the sitch. My timing is not 100% perfect, and the Zoomers these days grew up on the grid. If I miss a little bit of a beat, they're gonna walk out the door and hit their elf bar. So to make sure that I'm on beat all the time, I have this MIDI quantized Max for Live device. This only activates when I press play on the project, so let's do it real quick. And I'll go ahead and turn on the metronome so you can see how it's making me stick to the grid. Let's try it again. Okay. So that's perfect. The way it's working is I have to play a little bit before the beat so that it shifts all my notes to be right on the grid. If I'm a little bit late, then unfortunately I'm gonna miss a beat. Let's try it real quick. So let's make it late. Up, on Gangnam Style. Now I know I mentioned that Zoomers love the grid. They don't love it so much that they want to hear my metronome pounding away in their ear holes for the whole set. So one thing you could do is just set the cue out to a different output. In this case I'll do 3, and that is where the metronome is going. It's going in my headphones without coming out to the crowd. You can set the level of the metronome here. And you'll also notice that I have this return track that's set to the same output as the headphones. That way I can hear a little bit of each track which I'm sending to this return in my headphones as well, so I can hear what the audience hears, plus a bit of a click track. Wowzers. All right, let's try to put together all the different elements we've talked about into a performance. For this section of this set, I have another song group, which I can open up here. We got 3 different tracks here. We got the backing track, which is just a simple drum beat and a pad. We have this key stack. For this one, I've actually put different instruments in different ranges of my keyboard. In the higher range, I got this lead, middle range, this crazy ass bass, and the lower range, Fat Reese. These sounds change depending on which part of the backing track I've triggered. So for example, if I go to the lower section, now the top sound is a lot chiller, got an 808 in the middle, same Reese in the low end. And then last but not least, we have our pads here. This time, instead of trying to do the MIDI quantize, I'm just using these to trigger fun little sound effects. Okie dokie, let's take all these elements and put them together in a performance. Reese. Okay, going to the lower section. Chiller sounds. Whenever I'm ready to mix out of this, I can close out of this group, keep the beat playing, and then maybe start bringing in the next song whenever I'm ready. Let's try it. Okay. Filter out the first song, stop the clip. And now I'm on to the next one. Amazing! Thanks for watching. You can get merch from the show, including t-shirts, CDs, and more, by clicking the link in the description below. I'm Underbelly. Have a great day.